Recording, rock and roll. How you doing today, Deanna?
I'm doing really good. I'm doing really, really good. I'm excited about going over this today because I know there were a bunch of people that couldn't make it to the in-person training that we did at HomeSmart a few weeks ago.
Right.
So this will get everybody caught up that had, listing presentations to give and previewing property and all that good stuff.
Exactly. I was excited to do this one too because I didn't get to be there at the office when you did this, especially since there's people from all over the country on here. All right, so if you guys weren't there in the live training, we're going to do social media cheat sheet today. And honestly, I haven't even gone over these slides yet like we normally do. And you guys might notice I'm in my kitchen today. We're not at the office today because as soon as we hang up from this, I'm going to Europe. And this is the last thing I have to do before I'm absolutely out of here. So, Deanna, let's get
Let's
rolling.
do this so you can get to Europe, my friend.
Hopefully my kids don't walk in and dogs start barking and whatnot. So if you don't know me, my name is Mike Bjorkman, broker owner of HomeSmart NCG. For those of you that don't know, that stands for North County Group in Santa Clarita, California, Westlake, California, and Northridge, California. The wonderful Deanna Miller handles almost all of our social media. She's been with me for a very long time, and we rely heavily on her and her company for websites, design, social media, you name it. Julie over there is our career services manager over at HomeSmart, and her and I, we hire good agents like you. I know some of you aren't agents on the call, but that's all right. And what else? Let's see where we're at here. Moving right along. All right, Facebook groups. Yeah, we always have to talk about these. I know for you loyal listeners and watchers that are always on this, we got to go over this every time because these groups are life-changing. So the first group there, it's kind of hard to see. It says Stark and HomeSmart 10-week social media series. That's Stark and HomeSmart 10-week social media series. That's where we post the recordings. That's where we post tips and tricks for social media. And then down below is our super robust training group, HomeSmart Next Level Training Series. That's HomeSmart Next Level Training Series. Julie, Deanna, myself, and other contributors post very important things that you guys need to stick up with for the ever-changing real estate industry. So make sure you're in there. Whew, moving right along again. Oh, our podcast. Our podcast, Deanna, 4,000 downloads in the last couple of months. That
Oh,
was
that's so
ridiculous.
good. You guys
Mhm.
have some really good ones. I'm really enjoying them.
I loved your Twitter one the other day. That was fun.
Ah,
I even
thank you.
tweeted about it. So you
I know,
guys,
I'm
if you
excited.
don't have our podcast, download Real Estate Marketing Show, or you can go to realestatemarketingshow.com, search it on your Apple and Google Play. Social Life Podcast. Deanna does unbelievable stuff, and it's actually hilarious too. Her and Nate are crazy freaks, but they actually get some really good points across. And this is how you're going to stay up with social media in our next century. You guys, we got to embrace the social media stuff, and it changes so fast, and I understand it's confusing, but you know what? Little bit at a time, and you can stay ahead of the game. I can honestly, Deanna, remember like when I first got in the business, I said, I'm always going to stay in technology because, when I was growing up, we couldn't afford computers or anything. They were still new. And
Hmm.
I remember all the top agents just 15 years ago, 20 years ago, they're almost extinct. And the reason I believe 100% is if they're not dead, they didn't keep up with technology and social media. So I urge all you guys out there, keep up with it. It's so worth it. It's hard, I know, blah, 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 blah. You know what? We get paid a lot of money, and our clients heavily rely on us to do so. All right, next one. Ooh, your app? Is that what we got next? The
That's the
Stark
app.
Social mobile app. So I get calls all day, every day about how do I find these recordings? Well, this is the best way to get to her podcast, get to the recordings of these webinars so you can share, and we really appreciate it when you share it with real estate agents all over the country. It gets our name out there, it gets HomeSmart's name out there, and we're really excited about it. So make sure you don't download the Stark Social app. You want to add anything? Is there anything special in there that I never say?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. We've got the podcast, but we have all the webinars, and it's really cool because I know actually a couple people tagged me in pictures on Instagram when they were watching the webinars on like iPads traveling the other day. So that was really cool. But also, if you have any ideas, you can also get in touch with us and contact us through the app. So if there's any questions or comments or concerns you have, you can always get in touch with us that way too.
Cool. Rock and roll. All right, are we done with our commercials?
Oh, do your HomeSmart commercial, because I did this at HomeSmart. I took out that
Oh,
slide
gotcha.
and
Let's
I forgot to put it back in, so that's my fault.
All right, so there's three things we need to worry about in real estate, right? Number one, training. Obviously, HomeSmart and us at HomeSmart NCG are delivering the absolute best training in the industry. Over 25 years in the industry, I've never seen a brokerage deliver what we do. The second thing, tools and technology. Tools and technology with HomeSmart are unbelievable. We just got a new update on our CRM finally, so there's really nothing a real estate agent needs to buy unless they're super advanced and want to go crazy. And then the fees. I mean, $500 a deal, and our fees have a $3,600 cap. So if you're paying more than $3,600 a year at your company, you're crazy. So reach out to me or Julie and we'll take care of that. So what's in your social strategy? Let's hear about it.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. So this is going to be, and I think a lot of people were emailing and asking, this is going to be a training that is a lot of stuff that some people might already know, but it's sort of also a refresher. There's some things in here that have changed. We know that LinkedIn recently changed all of its stuff, so you have to remember that there's good ways to use your social strategy. So what's in your social strategy? Whether you're a real estate agent or just an entrepreneur or you're a brick and mortar business owner, let's face it, like Mike said, we all need a social strategy, and things have changed tons. Like I remember, like you said, when my dad bought our first computer and it was like, what is this? And it was like, I think I was in college and it was like, this is so cool. But so you need a social strategy. What channels should you be on? This is not just for real estate agents, but if you're a business owner, you need to be on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. These are my top 4 recommendations. People ask about Pinterest, they ask about Snapchat, they ask about Periscope. If you don't have a comfort zone, a good comfort level with these 4 social media channels, I wouldn't worry about anything else until you do. And then, of course, an additional to that is a landing page and a CRM and an email marketing tool. Now, if you're a HomeSmart agent, you get all that stuff. Which is cool, and I love when Julie signs up new agents. I get to sit down and talk with them a lot of the time and show them how to integrate all the cool tools and technology, and now the like really neat marketing platform that you guys have. It's like flyers and business cards galore. So you want to make sure that you've got Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter in your strategy at some point. And I recently did, we're dropping a podcast in a couple of weeks that's talking about spending only an hour a day on your, hour a week on your stuff. So you really should be focusing on your building your business, and then this should be a part of it, not like I had somebody I talked to this morning, it was really sweet. She's like, I just spent like 4 hours this morning on Instagram, and I was like, no, that's too long.
That would make my head explode.
You forgot to go to the gym because you were on Instagram all morning. That's not how we're supposed to be doing this. So let's
Deanna, can I barge in for a second?
Always.
So those of you listening that are my agents, remember we recommend 2 hours a day of prospecting. It's okay to spend an hour a day on Facebook private messaging. We're not saying only work on social media an hour a week, because if you were to spend an hour every day on your Facebook, interaction and messaging, that is prospecting, and we support it 100%. And I hope you guys hear what Deanna's saying. You don't need to spend a lot of time with your posts. You could use Buffer and other avenues, but your actual prospecting, you could do an hour a day if you want to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that comes into like creating a core message for your end values. One of the things I think I come across when I'm working with a lot of clients is like, what's your message? Why are you different? Who needs your services? So specifically, Mike has spent the last, what is it, like 25 years?
26 years this year, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Never in a day.
He has spent the last 26 years honing who his audience is, who is his niche market, where is his farm. So that's what you want to think about. Who needs your services? And how do you do a better job than anybody else? One of the things that Mike has always pushed, and why I think we gravitated towards each other when we started working together, is that it's all about the marketing. What is your goal in providing your services? When did you start working in the industry? And one of the things I tell people is that don't be shy about saying that you're new, and don't be shy about bragging about how long you've been in the business. The thing is everybody wants to know exactly what they're getting these days, and that's why people, I think it's like 67% of people who are looking for someone to represent them in the purchase of a home are looking up your credentials online. So they want to know the truth. And believe me, if you tell them I've been selling homes for years and you've been doing it for 6 months, they're going to find out.
That sucks. Yeah. No, and you know, a good script for you guys. I do see some of the names on here, some of our newer agents. You know, it's okay. And remember the number one script. You know, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, not only are we associated with the one of the top producing teams in the state of California, however, me being new, I have the tools, technology, training, but most important, motivation and time to do what you guys need me to do. I will work diligently all day, every day to find you foreclosures, short sales, and other homes that are not on the market yet. And if it
Yeah.
goes the other way for a listing, we obviously at HomeSmart have the listing presentation that's number one in the industry, and you guys can go at it and say, look, I am surrounded by the best of the best. With my marketing in place, I can get you the highest price in the quickest amount of time.
Yes, exactly. And so
Tell
I
Nate to
think,
sit down.
I know I'm trying to get more something to drink because I drank all my coffee.
Uh,
Um, So, and definitely one of the things I encourage new agents to use Mike as like a reference tool. Here's my broker, and here's all of the things that he teaches us to do, and here's what I'm going to implement. You can use him as like your reference and say like, hey, this guy has done like a training every Thursday for us for the last,
4 years now.
4 years. Oh my gosh, it feels like so much longer. But then we go back to know your target audience. Think about zip codes and address to target. What are the income ranges of your client that you're looking for? Do you want the new seller? Do you want somebody who's looking to upgrade? Are you looking for somebody who is solid in their work environment, so they're making the higher end of the income range? What are their interests? Are they into boats? Are they into cars? Are they into RV stuff, right? So you need to make sure that you know all of the interests of your potential target audience. What kinds of behaviors are they doing? Are they searching and buying online? Are they selling things online? Are they looking for, like they use Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com? You can target to all kinds of different things. Are they looking for buying and selling? Is there a niche market need for them? So for sale by owner type of thing, there's a whole way you can Facebook market to people who are interested in or have done or have posted things about for sale by owner. So make sure you take a look at all of the different things. And that's where tools like Evernote and Trello come into play, because you can store all of this stuff in one spot. You can create your target audience. You can create your values and your messaging all in one spot, and then you have it to come back to and reference as you're creating your social media. One of my biggest tips is don't wait for them to come to you. And here's some of the things I shared in the in-person training, because a lot of these questions came up in previous trainings that we had done at HomeSmart. So yeah, go ahead and create a target list from your LinkedIn second connections. So what does that mean? Look at your current first connections and see who the people are that they're connected to that are your second connections. Check and see who they have. Do they have bankers? Do they have investors? Do they have people who are working for Fortune 500 companies? Look and see and start making a target list, and go ahead and connect with those people and start using that as a prospecting tool. So message those people and say, hey, I noticed you're connected to Mike Bjorkman. He and I have been connected for quite some time, and I just wanted to reach out to you and say hello and see if you ever need anything real estate related. I'd love to connect with you. Maybe we can have a cup of coffee and talk about anything you might be looking to do in the future. There you go. You search your mutual friends on Facebook and friend them, and then do the same thing. It's all about building those relationships and keeping them fresh. Make a list of local vendors and tradespeople that you can connect with. So if you're a real estate agent, you probably have a ton of handymen coming to you. You probably have plumbers, roofers. You want to create those connections and then use those people as referral sources. So if you refer them business, go ahead and hand them 10 business cards or 10 palm cards and say, hey, I've been sending you a lot of business. I'd love it if anybody comes to you with a need for real estate in any way, make sure you send them my way and build those friendships and relationships. I know Mike has a ton, right?
We have like 75 vendors on our list, and we get a lot of business from them.
See, there you go. So you can use Google Docs or an Excel sheet to track these things. So if you have, let's say you're passing out 10 business cards to a plumber who you think is super awesome, track all of that stuff. Track where you're sending those things and where you're getting the referrals from, so that that way you can make sure to send them nice, appreciation gifts and build the relationship that way.
Yeah. You know what we did last Friday at California Leasing is we had a vendor party. So all of our vendors that we use, not necessarily exclusively, but the ones that we like to use, we invited them all in. We had a taco truck, we had beer and wine, and they all got to socialize and meet each other, and they're referring each other, and they really appreciated that. It's nice to sometimes see your vendor not on the work-related, it's just fun. We didn't, there wasn't a whole lot of work talk. It was just, hey, we're all friends, we're all connected, and you know what, those vendors are going to refer us way before any property management company, because we do treat them like humans. We love them, and we nurture those relationships, and they got a kick out of it, and it was a really good time. We decorated the office, and they all got to come and enjoy each other's company, and that's powerful. It really makes a big difference.
It makes a huge difference. And the thing is they don't have to know that you're tracking them or keeping track of them, but just, showing a little bit of respect and appreciation for the people you work with goes a long, long way. I know that if there's ever anybody that needs certain services, like I have certain handymen I work with, I have certain, certain vendors I work with in social media, that I'll send people that I know, like, and trust to them versus other people that I don't talk to or hear from on a regular basis. So HomeSmart has a lot of scripts and dialogues that are available. I know that Mike makes a ton available to the agents in HomeSmart. So you want to craft your messages before you start to just send stuff out willy-nilly to your targets. So make sure that you're putting together, if you're doing it again in Evernote or Trello or whatever tool you're using, make sure that you're keeping scripts together. So here's emails for this type of connection, here's emails for Facebook, here's emails for this, and then buyer, seller, REO, whatever, all the different types of for sale by owners. And then make sure that you're keeping track of who you're sending emails to. So I sent an email to, Mr. Smith on April 5th, didn't hear back yet, or whatever the notes are for what you did and what you said. And then, make sure that you set yourself a reminder on that marketing calendar, that social media calendar, to follow up with him in a couple weeks. And maybe you send him an article that you saw, or you send some information about a community event that you think he might be interested in. As long as you're keeping yourself in the forefront of their mind, like, oh, that guy emailed me a couple weeks ago, and now they're sending me this cool thing about Taste of the Town, which is this big community event here. That's cool. And then you can always, like my California Leasing, they just did their vendor mixer appreciation event. You throw a mixer and invite those targets. It doesn't necessarily have to be people that you worked with in the past, but maybe you buddy up with a bunch of agents or some vendors, and you throw a mixer or an event that talks about, maximizing, selling your home, maximizing buying or investing. One of the things that is really big, people are looking to build wealth for the future. Maybe you throw an investment seminar and you talk about how investing is something that is great for building wealth for the future and how you can help them do it. And then you've got your property management company, and you've got your, plumbers and this and that and whoever else, all these people that you depend on. And then that shows them how awesome you are.
Yep. And I would recommend, and we talk about this a lot, get a GoToWebinar account like we are doing right now, and do your first-time home buyer seminars, do your listing presentations, and then record them. And you can put those on your YouTube channel, your Vimeo channel. You can do them live, and you can upload them to your social media as well. So if they can't join right then and there, they can watch later, and you can build content on your YouTube channel. So if you went to our YouTube channel, there's tons of interviews of me talking about home warranties, termite inspections, appraisals, all that stuff, and it lasts forever. I mean, some of these things are 3-4 years old, but they still work. So when people go to interview me, and they interview us on YouTube all the time. And then they can say, wow, that was great content. So they build a lot of trust with me before they even call me to get their homes on the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's really important. People ask all the time about YouTube content. Those videos are from webinars are a great way to do it. And I mean, you can even just do them you set yourself a schedule for doing one, let's say like once a month or once every couple weeks. And it can be the same content over and over again. You can just advertise it on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn to, various different types of audiences. And then whatever you've got, just make sure you're sharing it. So top tips for every channel. So for Facebook, you want to boost your Facebook business page posts to get more exposure for them. This is the best way to get exposure for your Facebook business page and to increase the likes. You want to make sure that you're doing these things because I know that for a lot of people, getting started with ads is intimidating, but boosting a post is really simple and it's really easy, and you can do $5 to $30 to get yourself some good traction, and you don't have to spend a lot of money, and it's a good, easy way to increase those likes on your Facebook business page. For Twitter, you want to maybe try scheduling a Twitter chat. So a Twitter chat is when we've actually hosted some for clients and then guested for others. So what it is you set up an event. So maybe you set it up a Facebook event and say, we're doing a free 30-minute chat for first-time home buyers. You can ask any questions you'd like about the market and the industry for 30 minutes from 6 to 6:30 on Thursday, and it's free to everybody to attend, and we'd love for you to do so. So what this ends up doing is you take yourself, get yourself like a nice branded hashtag. So you could use HomeSmart if you're a HomeSmart agent. You let all the HomeSmart agents know. You let everybody know that you possibly can. Send it out in an email to your contacts in your CRM. Maybe you do a Facebook Live video about it and you share it with everybody and you boost it once it's posted to your page. And then what this does is people are asking, how do I increase engagement on my Twitter channel? This is a great way for real estate agents to increase engagement on their channel and also to start being found when people are searching for real estate agent through that localized search that Twitter keeps increasing its productivity off of. Pinterest, you want to start pinning videos featured on your YouTube channel. So this is perfect to what Mike said about doing those webinars or doing Facebook Live videos. I showed last time in one of the other webinars that we did about how to download your Facebook Live videos. So if you're doing Facebook Live or you're doing Twitter Live or you're doing Periscope, if you're using any of those video tools, you want to make sure that you're downloading those videos and then uploading them to YouTube and then pin them to Pinterest. Pinterest has a higher rate of return right now for video. They have done something to their algorithm where video is getting seen more frequently than just regular pins with pictures and articles. So make sure you're taking advantage of any free content that you're creating and putting it on YouTube and then pinning it to Pinterest. Google Plus. So Google Plus is still a thing. I know. Somebody asked me the other day, didn't it go away yet? I was like, no, not yet. But what people are using it for is conducting educational live hangouts for their potential leads. So this is another way that you could do very similar to this Twitter chat. You could do an educational hangout for first-time home buyers. Then you can download the video and save it to your YouTube channel. And then you've got more content, free content that you created. So you can do it for a variety of first-time home buyers, investors. People are starting to send me stuff about, like flipping houses. Like, do I know anybody that does house flipping? They need a contractor. If there's any type of concept out there, you can put together an educational live hangout. And you can even stream it live to YouTube if you schedule it in advance enough and you practice with it. Practice with the people in your audience, because we did one and I was like, where am I? Who's here? And like, it's just practice. Just give yourself some practice.
Google Hangouts are a really big thing. They really are. I'm doing Hangouts all the time. That live video I did with thousands of people this morning, that was a Google Hangout that was pushed to Facebook Live. I mean, Google Hangouts, and not only that, for you guys listening, and I hate to totally do this to you, but Google Slides, if you have Google Slides, you can do your listing presentation on that. All you have to do is send an invitation, they go to Google Hangouts, and you can actually present your listing presentation right on there. We did that the other day and it was mind-blowing. It's so cool how Google will convert your PowerPoint or Keynote into a presentation that you just use it right off their apps. So highly recommend that as well.
And I love that because there's no reason then, like people are, I had somebody say like, I'm getting a lot of leads from out of state and they're then, you know, or out of the city or out of the area and I'm not sure what to do. That, you know, if you're looking to expand your audience or you're getting other people from other areas, there's no reason that you can't connect with them still. I mean, there's, yes, we have the phone, but these types of things that I've seen Mike do with the live presentations and videos, and I mean, this is essentially, this is how most of us, I think, that are in mastermind groups that are across the country end up doing it, is through Google Live Hangouts. So check it out if you haven't yet. And if you want to play with one, we can always set up a time to play with one, and maybe we'll do one in the future, just so everybody can see how it is. Because I know a lot of people are. Somebody just said to me the other day, like, I'm just really gun shy to try all the stuff that you recommend. So we'll put some time together maybe to test one out. And then Instagram, put your graphic design hat on and develop some images. There's really no excuse anymore to not be able to put together really good, solid content for Instagram. And the cool thing about Instagram is that you can share it directly to your Facebook page. And you can share it to Twitter. So it's really, really easy to do. I mean, you just have to connect your Facebook business page or connect your Facebook personal account. But there's tools like Canva that are very popular. I started using a tool called Adobe Spark Post, which I absolutely love. You can do, if you've been to the Stark Social or California Leasing or the HomeSmart Instagram channels, I've been doing some really cool video graphics through that, which get a huge rate of return. We've seen like giant increases. So check out those two tools. They're both available on your mobile application. I know somebody said, well, Canva is just online. It's not. It's had an app for a while now. So make sure you check out the app too. And just develop good images. The elements that you need in an image is just a nice clean picture and maybe a little bit of text. So you don't really have to go all out with like the logos and the little cartoons and the this and the that. Just start small and practice. And the more you practice, the easier you'll start to see things come when you're putting together these Instagram images. Posting is as easy as planning. So here is where I say all the fun stuff that everybody's waiting for. Create a schedule for each channel. So Facebook and LinkedIn, 2 to 4 posts per week is what's recommended. That doesn't mean you can't do more. So I'm not limiting you. I'm not saying you can't do 2 to 3 posts a day if you want to, but 2 to 4 posts per week is the minimum recommendation. I recommend 2 ads per month for each one. And that means like get into the Facebook ads backend and put together a good A/B testing ad. Same thing with LinkedIn. I know we went through it last time and everybody was like, I can't do it, that's so hard. But it's once you practice, you just have to get into your comfort zone. Once you practice, you'll get it, I promise. And then 4 boosted posts per month. So this is where planning comes in. If you know your budget, plan for these different ads at the beginning of the month. We're at the start of April still, so you can say I have $200 to spend and I'm going to do 4 boosted posts for $5, and I'm going to do 2 ads, and then I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to focus on Facebook, and then next month I'm going to focus on LinkedIn. You can rotate. It doesn't all have to go to all the channels. You can rotate and test things out and see where you're getting the best return on your investment. For Instagram and Twitter, this is where it gets heavy and people start to go like, the recommendation is 1 to 2 posts per day to get your feed seen, because Instagram and Twitter have updated their algorithms now. So Instagram is now like Facebook, where you're seeing the most popular posts first. So you want to make sure that you're getting seen. So make sure you're doing at least 1 to 2 posts per day. Now, Twitter, I do a lot more for my clients because it's so easy to get caught up in the mix. But if you're getting started, or if you're like, I don't know, 1 to 2 posts per day is my definite recommendation, and 2 ads per month. The cool thing about Instagram is that it's connected to Facebook. So if you're already doing Facebook posts, you're going to get them sent to your Instagram anyway. So make sure those 2 accounts are connected. And then 6 sponsored tweets. So we talked about tweets before. If you missed the webinar, make sure that you get to go to the group and look at all the different pinned posts, because the pinned post has all the previous webinars. So make sure you're doing those sponsored tweets to increase your engagement, get more follows, and get those retweets, which ends up giving you really good presence when you're on Twitter. So I'll leave
So
that.
So the thing that's working really well still for us, it has been for a long time, is the videos. What's super cool about Facebook when you guys are promoting them, promote your property videos. So you could use like Airland Media, my son who does awesome videos. He will actually make a video especially for Instagram for you, but it works on Facebook too, because we really don't want to go over that 45 seconds to a minute video. So
Right.
once you promote that, it'll still work on Instagram, and it's really, really cool. Because if you look at Instagram, there's very few videos out there. And if you're going to be promoting a property, I
Mhm.
highly recommend that for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and yeah, I mean, video is huge. So if you can do any kind of video, I mean, Home Smart agents, you should get in touch with Andy. He is super talented for sure. And it makes my life a lot easier because he just cuts them and sends them to me, and so that way I can just post them like easy peasy. Let's see. So this is an example. Make a weekly posting log. So what I do is I put together before each week, or 2 weeks in advance, I try and decide what I'm going to post versus just getting out there and sitting in the front of the computer and you're looking at Feedly or you're looking at your buffer and you're like, what do I post? There's so much stuff. Put yourself together a little calendar, a little schedule that says I'm going to post twice on Monday, twice on Tuesday, or once on Tuesday, or whatever it is for each of the channels, and then just copy and paste the links, and then you can write the content in. It makes life so much easier to then be able to go and schedule things out. So then that way, you know what's coming and you know what you need to change. If you're doing any kinds of promotions or if you're doing any kinds of like coupons or deals or giveaways or buyer like parties or any like broker opens or open houses, then that way you know in advance all of the stuff you're going to do. So this is an example of a spreadsheet that I might put together, and it's really, really easy to do. All you need to do is just what it is. It's Facebook, it's a page. There's the name, there's the messaging, there's the link, and then if you're putting this into Buffer or Social Pilot, or Social Assist Pro, if you're doing any of those tools, you just copy and paste these together, copy and paste them into your tool, and then there you go. And then once you've got like a log of stuff, you can always do rebuffering and things like that. But so this is an example of getting things together. So then I'll have a tab, I'll have 4 tabs, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and then I'll have a 5th tab that is inspiration. So any articles or blogs or things that I come across. And then that's how I end up putting together my weekly schedule for clients. So that ends up making your life a ton easier. Best times of day to post. Facebook is between 12 and 3 or 6 and 9 on the weekdays. On the weekends, it's subjective, so we know that our audience on the weekends ebbs and flows depending on what's going on with their personal lives. So a lot of times people have activities, families have sports events, they have other things they're going to where they're not necessarily on their cell phones that much. But these are the peak times during the week that you want to be posting. A lot of people ask me, like, shouldn't I be posting, shouldn't I be posting earlier in the morning? Shouldn't I be posting like later in the day? This so far, based on Facebook statistics, is when they see the most traffic. So that means the most people logged in to Facebook looking at their feeds. So it's always up to you. And then if you use a tool like Buffer, they'll make audience suggestions. Same thing with Social Pilot. So they'll make time suggestions of when is the best time to post. So you can always look at that and adjust it and change it. This for Twitter is anytime. You need to see when your audience is most active. So for the majority of my clients, for some reason, with Twitter, it's late in the day. So like 7 o'clock on for most of my real estate and property management clients. It's later in the day. People seem to be sitting down with Twitter and retweeting stuff and liking things. So For me, it took time to figure out when people were most active. Now, this is the one you want to hit in the mornings. LinkedIn between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. on the weekdays. So you think about the time zones that you're hitting, and you're probably likely hitting a lot of, Eastern time zones, Central time zones with this, but between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. So people are getting to work, they're looking at the news for the day, and I think the statistics were something like between 40 and 50% of LinkedIn users log in to catch up on the news. So I'm thinking those are a lot of business professionals that are looking to target specific things. They're looking for new stuff that's fresh in their feed. So if that's your target audience, is those business professionals who might have a lot of cash to spend on real estate, you want to make sure that you're focusing on the best times to post. So 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. on the weekdays. Instagram is between 3 and midnight. For some reason, between 12 and 3 the next day, it's just not super active. I've noticed that a huge drop in activity on posts when I post anytime before 3 o'clock in the afternoon for most things. But again, you want to be posting 1 to 2 times per day, and you can use different tools to schedule reminders and things like that. So maybe you want to post something in the morning and then something in the evening just to keep your feed fresh, and then maybe you'll get enough likes that you'll end up being delivered, but you just want to make sure that you're posting when people are most likely to see your stuff. And then Pinterest, it's so hard to gauge this audience because we're looking at a group of people that bounces back and forth. So sometimes it's the mornings, sometimes it's the afternoons, but for the most part, Pinterest is just like Twitter, where it's pretty much anytime. You just need to find your audience's peak time of when they're actually the most active. So when you're putting together your calendar or your schedule, your Excel sheet, your Google Doc, your Trello, your Evernote, whatever it is that you're doing, make sure that you take into consideration these times when you're getting started or when you're trying to figure out what your audience is doing. Because I do know that a lot of people will post and say, I had a consultation with the HomeSmart agent last week, who everything that was being posted was happening at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and we figured out that her audience's peak time is like noon to 3, so she's clearly hitting people who are on their lunch break or have nothing to do at that time, and they're on social media. So make sure that you're assessing your audience first before you feel defeated, because I know it can be defeated when you're like, only 2 people saw that Facebook post. How is that only 2 people saw that? I'm sure more than that saw that. So make sure that you're cutting yourself some slack. What makes a good post? So this is just the nitty-gritty basics of what makes a good post. So elements of a Facebook or LinkedIn post. Tag yourself in the post. So if you're posting as your business page, make sure you're tagging your business page. So for Mike, it would be Mike Bjorkman, the Team Bjorkman page, or the HomeSmart NCG page. Whenever we post anything, we always make sure we tag it. Use a link shortener. Don't just post the whole big long link. Use the link shortener. Bitly is a great tool. Google actually has a link shortening tool, so you can actually just Google link shortening tool and it'll pop up, and it's free to use, and it's very, very easy. But Buffer, Social Pilot, Social Assist Pro, all of those tools have link shortening tools built in that will help you get your link shortened. 1 to 3 branded hashtags. I always say, now that Facebook has finally given a position on hashtags, they say 3 is plenty. Don't do any more than 3 on a Facebook business page post, because it will affect your presence in the algorithm. So just make sure you're keeping it 1 to 3. Clear and precise image. So show off your listing, show off what's happening inside the house. Do you have a cool pool? Is there a really neat fridge and refrigerator, like whole big kitchen section that's just amazing? I had somebody who did a post that they had this like giant refrigerator that had these like huge doors that opened, and it looked like you could like walk into the refrigerator. It was gorgeous. And then of course a call to action. So don't forget your call to action. click here, learn more. Any of those are really, really good. And I think I posted something the other day with all the different types of calls to action that you can use in the Stark and HomeSmart group. So make sure you check that out. Elements of a good tweet. So here we go. Less than 140 characters. You want to make sure that even with Twitter, you're always using proper grammar. Oh, I went too far. Proper grammar always. Don't forget your call to action. So get your showings here. One of the things that people are using a lot more, it's my last one on here, but you'll notice emojis with expression. People are visual, especially those that are using Twitter. So when you're on Twitter and you're posting your tweets or you're scheduling them out, don't be afraid to use some emojis. Again, make sure you're using a URL shortener and an image or video. So one of the things that Twitter has started to do really well is they've started to increase how you can integrate video into your posting. So if you'll take a look at your Twitter app, if you have it downloaded, and you can do it after, don't do it right now. There's a lot of different things you can do with GIFs and video and live video. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that. Now, if you're scheduling these out, I had somebody ask me about doing emojis when you're scheduling. So it's actually not that hard to do. There's a website called getemoji.com, and I'll post it in the Stark and HomeSmart group. But getemoji.com, and then you can use it on any of the browsers, and you can actually just copy and paste the emojis into your tool that you're using. So make sure when you're putting your tweets together that they're very concise, they're very clear. Hashtags is not an issue with Twitter. I mean, hashtags started with Twitter, so hashtags are fantastic. People, they love the hashtags. It's how they started their search integration, was through using the hashtag. So make sure that you're using relevant searches that people would be clicking on to find more information about what you're posting about. Elements of a good Instagram post. This one I feel like everybody is doing pretty well, but I wanted to come back to it because we had some hashtag questions that came up after our last Instagram training. So clean and precise image. So I just love this image of Jennifer, so I used it again. Clear and engaging text. So very clear text what this post is about. It's very clear we're welcoming Jennifer, and we do these posts for HomeSmart agents as they come through. So I like to put them together. Julie likes to put them together. They're a lot of fun because it's nice to welcome people to the team. In your initial comment section, 1 or 2 hashtags. Don't go crazy with the hashtags in the initial description section because basically here's what happened. Facebook took over Instagram. Facebook is not a big, huge fan of hashtags because of how poorly its geo search failed. So they had this whole big search map thing that they were putting together, and nobody liked it, so nobody used it. So they're not a huge fan of hashtags. So what happens is when you then share your Instagram image directly to Facebook and you have a ton of hashtags, what Facebook does then is it goes, nope, we don't like it. It's not going to get delivered to your audience. I don't like it. Too bad. So 1 or 2 hashtags to make sure that you're taking advantage of the relevancy of hashtags across Instagram and Facebook, but no more than that, because then it hurts your post. Tag users in the post. So if you have, let's say you're a part of a real estate team, tag everybody who's on Instagram in your real estate team. If you're selling a house and you happen to be following the seller of the house on Instagram, or they're following you, tag them in it to show them that you're doing something to market their property. I do that all the time when we have the information. So if you've become, and I know a lot of HomeSmart agents have become like really good friends, or they've become good colleagues and they work closely with their sellers and their buyers, tag people and stuff. And what that does is that alerts them that the post is there. And then people get really excited about that, and that gives them the opportunity to repost or reshare it. And then put your hashtags in the first comment. So if you look at most of the posts that we do, there's maybe, I think it's like the maximum is 10 hashtags. So then you can do all of your hashtags in the first comment. And so what that does is that allows you to share your post to Facebook without having any dings or issues. And then you still take advantage of all of the search that comes from those really good hashtags. So you want to make sure that you're doing, I think I have a slide in here about hashtags, but you want to make sure that if you're a part of a brokerage, we have the one that we use here for HomeSmart NCG, so that's their branded hashtag. We use SmartMove a lot because that's a part of the HomeSmart branding. You might want to use the area, the city, any specifics about the house. Is it a mid-century modern? Is it a craftsman style? Is it a loft? What are you doing? What are you selling? What kinds of property is it? Or what's going on? Is it an open house? Is it a broker open? Anything like that, you want to make sure that you're putting together hashtags for. And again, I use Evernote and Trello depending on the client to make sure that all those things are in one spot. So I can just copy and paste them into my Instagram post without having to sit there and reinvent the wheel every single time. All right, so let's get some pro tips. Know what's being posted and when. So make sure that you're getting notifications for your business page or any business pages that you want to follow. So I always encourage, if you have a business page that you're following, so let's say you're a HomeSmart NCG agent and you want to make sure you're getting notified every time me, Mike, or Julie, or whoever is posting, posts something to the page, especially when it comes to open houses, new listings, new tips or ideas that are coming directly from HomeSmart Corporate. You want to make sure that you're going to this little liked drop down. So if you've already liked the page, you can click on that little arrow right there and get notifications every time something is posted to a page. So what I like to do is I do this also with competition. So if I have somebody that I think is a competitor who's doing something really cool, or if there's a brand or a business that I think is doing really neat things with their marketing and I want to see what's fresh, what they're doing that's cool, I'll get notifications for those pages so that I can take those links to those posts and then say like, hey, I want to do cool stuff like this, so I'm going to add this to my next week's calendar. So make sure you're getting notifications for each of your pages that you're either posting to or you're interested in keeping an eye on. Okay, check your Facebook ads with PhotoGrid. So Facebook offers a free tool, there's no charge for this, and it will tell you whether or not your image for your ad is good or not good. So basically, here's the link. I will also post this in the Stark and HomeSmart group. I think I posted it before, but I'm happy to post it again. When you're doing ads, I know a lot of people will send me pictures and say, this didn't get approved. What did I do wrong? So here's the easiest way to do it. You go to this link, you upload your photo, and then it will tell you if your image text is okay. If your ads reach might be slightly lower because there's too much text, or if it just will not run at all. And this is good because it saves you time. I know a lot of people get to the end of that ad and then you click order, place order, and then it says nope. And it doesn't tell you necessarily why, except for that your image is wonky. So this will tell you, this gives you a good frame of reference of what's happening. And what ends up going on with Facebook advertising is if there's too much text on the image, it doesn't deliver it as far and wide as you want it to. So even though you might have your audience targeted so super duper well that you're like, I'm going to reach the world and beyond, if you have too much text on your image, it will not deliver really, really well. So make sure you're keeping these nice and tight and clean. Increase your Facebook likes. So here is an example of something that I show everybody. If you have run a Facebook boosted post or an ad, and this is easier to do on boosted posts because they live on your Facebook page. So here's one that was done for Team Bjorkman. Once you're done with your ad and you've got your results, and you'll see down here in this picture on that's my left, on the left, we've got this number of likes. that's down here, and reactions. And then what you want to do is you want to click on that directly, and that will open up this cute little pop-up window. And I also have a quick tip on this on our YouTube channel that I can share with people if you're interested. So what this does is this pops up in this window, and you can scroll through who's liked that post and invite them to like your page if they have not. So every time that there's a boosted post that is run for one of the pages that I manage, I will go through and do this. And this is a great way to organically increase your likes. And it's funny because Facebook does not tell you this. They do not share this in the trainings or anything like that. I found it on, took like a Facebook hacks training last year. And this is one of the Facebook hacks that they don't want you to know about because they want you obviously to spend money on getting people to like your page. But so you can go through and invite all of these people who have not yet liked your page. And what this does is pretty much, I think I went through and we increased like immediately. So that's why I say to run your 4 boosted posts a month, because this is also a good way to get past that first 100 likes that everybody gets freaked out about. It's like, if I don't get there, then I can't see insights and it doesn't let me see what's happening. I need to see all of the tools and stuff. So this is a great way to do that. Share posts from your Facebook page directly. So right here. So when you have a post on your page, it's important to share it from your page to your personal account, not the other way around. Because what happens is I had somebody who was posting from their personal to their business page, and it'll say if you have your settings set to super private or you have any privacy settings that are set up there, it'll say link not available. So when you're sharing it to the business page or to a business group or anything, any of those places, and you have your privacy settings locked down, people can't see what you're sharing anyway. So it's not helpful. So you'll click on, this is an event post that we put together. You'll click on share, and then it opens up this box, and it will initially say share on a page you manage. If you click on that little arrow drop down, then it shows that you can share on your own timeline, share on a friend's timeline, share in a group, or share in an event. So you want to select share on your own timeline so that you're taking advantage of increasing the reach of your post. So it'll go from, you know, the 1 to 2 people to more. So if you have like 5,000 friends like Mike has, it'll increase your reach significantly. And then that way, you can tag your business page in it. You can tag any of the other business pages in it. And then you're getting the benefit of all of that extra oomph that you have if you have a lot of friends. Even if you have 300, 200, you know, whatever your number of friends is, it's going to increase your post reach. And that's really what we want to focus on. Okay, hashtag pro tips. Facebook and LinkedIn do not care about hashtags. LinkedIn recently activated a hashtag search tool, but it's not yet awesome enough that they care about it yet. So they're beginning to hone in the use of hashtags on LinkedIn. So pay attention to it, but it's not yet one of those places that you have to focus 100% on yet. Instagram is the best place to use hashtags. You can use 10 to 12 hashtags in a post. So here's a really good example of how we do that for HomeSmart NCG. So we've got all of these hashtags, and we're taking into account all of the areas that we're focusing on as a brokerage, all of the cool hashtags that are currently searchable for real estate that get high return and click. So you want to make sure that you're using hashtags in that first comment. So you'll see there's the description, and then there's the first comment. So you stick that in there. And that's what I do, is I just have various different types of hashtag sets that I copy and paste into that first comment section for every post. 1 to 2 hashtags per tweet is good. So you want to make sure that you're using the 140 characters that you have available so you can retweet well with ease. And use a tool like Evernote to keep your hashtags all in one place. The other thing I use is Trello. Trello is really easy and it's free. Repetitive use of the same hashtag gets you noticed. So don't use one set of hashtags one day and then, you know, oh, I think I like these. Use the same hashtags over and over and over and over again, at least the same 5 or 6, to make sure that you're taking advantage of that recognition. So Facebook and Instagram work very much like Google search does. So when Google crawls your website, it's looking for specific keywords, it's looking for specific information, meta tags, hashtag, SEO tags, all these different tags. And so that's how Facebook and Instagram function. So if you have good content and you're playing the game with good hashtags, you'll get noticed and you'll get an increase in likes per post. And don't forget, consistency with hashtags is always key. You want to make sure that if you're using hashtags in your posts, that you're using the same hashtags consistently for the different types of posts. So we'll do ones like pro tips. I'll always do the pro tip hashtag, or property management hacks, or life hacks, or home hacks. Those on specific blog posts get a lot of return on likes and shares. So just be consistent with what you're doing. Know your hashtag. So here it is. This is the one that everybody was asking about. So here I will make sure that this is available for PDF download. So here's the hashtags that are the top delivering hashtags right now according to Google keyword search. So this is what comes up as the top hashtags. So make sure that you have your hashtag sets together. I will speed up a little bit because I see we're running out of time. Use ifthisthenthat.com to auto post your content from Instagram to Twitter. So this example here that you see is an auto tweet. So it's a shared tweet directly from Instagram to Twitter. And for those that are not aware, Instagram and Twitter do not like each other because Facebook bought Instagram, and Instagram and Twitter used to be BFFs. And when Facebook bought Instagram, Twitter basically went, we don't like you anymore. So they went from showing a native image to just a link. So when you share your pictures from Instagram to Twitter, that's all you get. But if you use a tool like Zapier or If This Then That, you can actually auto post your Instagram pictures so that they show up like this one. So there's different recipes and tools, and I posted about this in the Stark and Home Smart group on how to do this. So if you didn't see that one, I'll go ahead and share it again. I have a list of things to reshare. So you want to make sure that you're sharing your full image and it looks really cool, so you don't get just a link. But this If This Then That link right here, what that does is if people click on it or they tap on it from their mobile device, it sends them directly to your Instagram, which is a really cool way to increase likes and engagement on Instagram as well. Here it is. So If This Then That. IFTTT, if you search that or Google it, you'll find it really, 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 really easy. Create Twitter lists for ease of use. So make sure you're adding or removing people to lists. So that way you can say, like, I have local businesses, I have local real estate agents, home smart agents, whatever your realty group is, you can create lists. So then that way when you're looking at your Twitter, you can see specific people that you want to make sure that you're retweeting or liking their content. So Twitter lists that I have recommendations to create: celebrities, public figures, realtors, brokerages, leaders and experts in related industries, home appraisal, mortgage, insurance, home builders, anybody who's an educator, a coach, journalists, news channels, and of course your specific vendors. If they're on Twitter at all, definitely make sure that you're following them in a list. And then tools like Tweepy let you manage your base. So this is something that I've done a quick tip for on the YouTube channel as well. So if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out. And Tweepy is free to use. You can basically, what it does is it allows you to mimic or copy the audiences of other handles out there. So let's say that you're competitive with another real estate agent, or you like what another real estate agent is doing. You can go ahead and use Tweepy to take their Twitter handle and then copy their audience. So this is a really cool way to grow your audience quickly and efficiently. without having to spend any money. So I'll post that one as well too. Cheers. Now go build a tweet and tweet some ads. Let's see, what time is it?
Man,
Man, I had to go
that
fast.
wore me out. So you could probably tell I was answering questions the whole last 15 minutes right there.
Ah,
There was a
that
lot of
was
questions, so I
that
wanted
was
to
a lot.
I wanted to answer them privately. So we got through all that. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Deanna's contact information is there. And as always, I always ask you guys, please, please publicly thank her on social media for doing this. You could tell that presentation that she just did was not easy, quick to put together. So she deserves at least a shout out. Take a picture of the screen, tag her, tweet, Instagram her, all that good stuff. And then you guys can always reach there. And Julie's email address is right there if you want to join our company, Julie at homesmartncg.com. And that's it. What's our next one 2 weeks away?
Oh my gosh, what is our next one 2 weeks away?
What is the date in 2 weeks?
I'm brain farting horribly. What is the next one? I had questions about, somebody had sent me questions about YouTube. So I think we'll do some YouTubing in the next one to cover a bunch of those questions, because we had some people who said, I have questions. So let's see, when is that? That is the 19th of April. Are you back?
I get back that day. I don't know what time, so maybe you and Julie might do this yourself.
Okay. All right. So we
So
will
if
be
I'm not here in a couple of weeks, you guys, I'm sorry.
Oh. So
Oh.
we will be talking about YouTube and prospecting with YouTube and how to integrate all of your free content that you're putting together onto your YouTube channel and build your lists.
How fun. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining us. If you need us, reach out. Until next time, bye-bye.